number 10 we have Amber Heard. Now many haven't heard much of her since her loss in the defamation case against her ex-husband Johnny Depp. However, most recently Amber has been blamed for Cara's addiction struggle by a famous gossip columnist. Cara has opened up numerous times to the media about how rough her struggles with hard substances and thoughts of ending her life have been for her. But how was Amber involved? Well, for one, there's her past alleged romantic involvement with the actress while Amber was still married to Johnny. This went as far as Cara's name being dragged into their trial because old elevator footage obtained by the opposing legal team showed the actresses making out, which further proved Amber was unfaithful during her marriage. But their connection goes even deeper and seems a lot more troubling for the stars. Allegedly, they were additionally the organizers of sensual Hollywood parties, which numerous billionaire tech moguls were involved in. Jessica insisted that Cara was supposedly one of the famous women that Amber had set up her billionaire clients with. However, Jessica has no solid confirmation about how Cara was rumoredly involved in these events aside from pictures of Cara at the parties. Like most parties, there were always drink and substance consumption occurring, which was said to be a major portion of the issues Cara is still reportedly going through. Jessica has labeled Amber as the enabler for quote hooking Cara on hardcore redacted at these parties. While there's no real way of knowing how much or little this could have affected Cara, it definitely didn't help. If you haven't yet, tap the notification bell for more, it really helps our channel. At number 9 we have Megan Thee Stallion. Now we all know how confusing it was to see Cara's encounters with Megan at the 2022 Billboard Music Awards. It got so wild that fans worryingly assumed Cara was tripping on something and acting creepy while she followed the body artist around. At the time, one tweeted, "Memes beside, Cara Delevingne is so creepy and I hope she gets a restraining order from Megan Thee Stallion." Another accused Cara of being obsessed. However, the Suicide Squad actress eventually had to clear her name from the viral moment on July 22nd, where she had to finalize that she was simply a really excited hype woman at the time. The incident in question, in short, is that Cara was trailing Megan around the event, pulling odd faces at Megan and staring at Megan posing on the red carpet, later joining Megan in her photo op to assist her with her dress. It was eventually clarified that Cara attended the event with the rapper and Megan did not deny this. In Cara's explanation to Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show, she explained, quote, "I really wanted to see her play and she asked me to come along with her. I didn't know I was gonna go sit or do anything. I thought I was just going to come and watch her play. I walked in and I had a seat in the front row and I'm like, I'm not meant to be here." At number 8 we have Poppy Delevingne. According to numerous reports, Poppy visited Cara's West Hollywood home last Wednesday morning. News outlets didn't state what she was there for, as she most likely didn't give reporters a reason. However, it was detailed that Poppy exited the house around 11 a.m. to leave in a black SUV. Poppy did inform them about an update on Cara, where she told them Cara was doing fine nowadays. It's still unknown whether or not Cara was home while Poppy was visiting though. Still, further media news released pieces that the socialite had rushed over to her sister from London because she was concerned for Cara's well-being with all the public incidents she was experiencing mixed in with her no-show events. It's a well-known fact that Cara and Poppy share an incredibly close sisterly bond. At number 7 we have Cara's Suicide Squad co-star and bestie Margot Robbie. According to reports made by TMZ, Margot was another famous pal of Cara's who popped to visit to her home on that same Wednesday. In Margot's case, she was photographed taking off from Cara's house looking visibly distressed and in tears. In photos, Margot is pictured with a reported bag of toiletries. Her visit came in light of Cara's then latest incidents, indicating that she might not be okay. Margot was described to still be distraught several hours after leaving Cara's residence around 5 p.m. Similar to Poppy, nobody knows if Cara was inside when Margot showed up. At number 6 we have Jay-Z. One of Cara's most heavily reported incidents over the past few weeks have been her getting forced to depart off the rapper's private jet while she was experiencing a reportedly erratic display at an LA airport. The British model's family and friends remain in fear that they will need to soon host an urgent intervention for the English star after witnessing her recently questioning behavior. This occasion was also the time when shocking photos and videos of Cara emerged online, showing her twirling around the airport with no shoes on. Cara also reportedly had bruises littered on her arm and her hair was unbrushed. This also followed up on her behavior prior to, when she appeared to be out of the sort while smoking, and also from her quote wild behavior at her Ibiza party with her loved ones. At number 5 we have Doja Cat. Another female rapper whose presence Cara graced at the 2022 Billboard Music Awards was the need-to-know musician Doja. At the time, Cara donned every headline you can think of for her odd behavior regarding Megan, both prior to and during the awards ceremony. But these weren't the only things that caught the media's attention. While seated for the show, Cara was brightly stationed front and center, and on either side of her was Doja and Megan. A fan-recorded video showed Megan and Doja, who were both nominated for a big award, holding a regular conversation. The actress actress soon pops her head out seemingly out of the blue while they're discussing and chimes into their conversation. Doja, who noticed her presence right away in surprise but seemed to not know Cara was there prior to her jumping in, said, "Oh my god, hi Cara Delevingne." In a since viral clip, Megan and Doja seemed to chuckle the encounter off. However, this is where things get a little weird. While they all seemed fine at the event, when it was over, Megan took to her Instagram stories to celebrate her win and the night. In one photo Megan reposted from a fan account, she and Doja are posed together smiling, but fans quickly pulled up the original photo and attempted to piece two and two together. In the OG, Cara was sitting between both rappers and resultantly ended up being edited out Diddy style from the snapshot. At number 4 we have Lady Mary Chartreuse. Starting with the fact that Mary has been sober since 2018 and Cara is supposedly spiraling nowadays, with reports saying she's falling back into her addiction, this may be proof that this particular friendship could be exposing more than they think. Both are people of importance in Hollywood who came from affluent upbringings and run in the same inner circle. The longtime friends were also both celebrating Cara's exclusive 30th birthday party together in Spain. But despite their closeness, many spectators of Cara's situation have hinted that Mary could be the most concerned for her besties nowadays. At number 3 we have all-rounder Rihanna. The supermodel and Rihanna are actually super close and have been for quite a few years now. Given the inner circle Cara runs in though, alongside her DGAF attitude, it may not be all that surprising to know that she has a personality so similar to her close friend known as the Queen Riri. The entrepreneur and superstar and Cara first introduced themselves to one another at a fashion show. The pair would later star in Luc Besson's then eventual film Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. When Cara spoke about this experience of theirs once to Glamour, she stated, "I've seen her work in the studio, in concerts, in meeting, but to see her act was incredible. And while they do more than just party together, whenever they do, they clearly always have a great time." When Rihanna turned 30 in 2018, Cara posted an Instagram collage of them having fun in honor of her bestie's bash. Outside of their personal affairs, the two even support each other professionally. Cara walked Rihanna's 2020 Savage X Fenty runway for the Business Bosses fashion show. At number 2 we have Sienna Miller. Now Sienna and Cara have quite similar behavior, and if you take a moment to even confirm this, you'll find tons of articles on their party animal ways. Furthermore, Sienna is basically dubbed as another enabler in Cara's life, as she is someone who Cara frequently allows her wilder side to shine with. This kind of dependence in the relationship could very well have played a hand in some of the recent reports of Cara floating around. However, Sienna is still considered to be one of Cara's closest friends, especially because of Sienna's friendship with Poppy. Reports detail that Poppy and Sienna lived together in New York after they left school. An apparent close insider to both Sienna and Cara informed Page Six back at the beginning of the year that the duo were a pair who enjoyed a wild time together quite often, and that they've been longtime friends because of this. The insider was referencing a kiss Sienna and Cara reportedly shared in a club at the time. At number 1 we have Ajira Aboa, who met Cara while they were both still teen models. The pair did a featured sit-down with Glamour back in 2017, and in it, they spoke of their memories together and the fact that they couldn't figure out when their exact meeting happened. Ajira solely remembers Cara, quote, walking around on the street of London in a cardboard box. As the two recalled some of their earliest bonding moments in their life together, they giggled about the time they were at Glastonbury, as well as their first trip to the Burning Man festival. According to Cara, they were driven to the event by a woman who was pregnant and blind. When speaking on the basis of their friendship, Ajira described it as so: "People call us model best friends, but we were friends before. What I've always been grateful for in our friendship is that we expect absolutely nothing from each other, just friendship." Cara and Ajira even share a matching tattoo of a half-red heart inked onto their hands to symbolize the close genuinity of their friendship.
At number 10, we have Justin Bieber. Tom Cruise's train of haters doesn't just end with A-list Hollywood actors and actresses. Apparently, Justin Bieber is one of them as well, or is he? Justin and Tom's history doesn't go that far back, as their interaction, or lack thereof, was so random. Literally, no one saw it coming. A few years ago, Justin tweeted out to his fans about wanting to fight Tom. Fans were understandably confused because where was this coming from? One fan asked, "Why Tom Cruise of all people?" And another said, "Did I miss something?" Both very valid points, as there had been no exchange between the two that would explain why Justin would want to fight Tom. A year later, the singer explained the intention behind his tweet, and it's anticlimactic as it comes. In an interview, he said, "I don't know, I was just being stupid, to be honest." So no, he doesn't actually want to fight Tom, and there doesn't seem to be any real bad blood between them. He also admitted that it was just a random tweet, which he claims to do often. He had seen one of Tom's interviews at the time. It honestly could have been any celebrity, but that day it just happened to be Tom. At number 9, we have Kate Middleton and Prince William. Tom was at the premiere for the sequel Top Gun Maverick. This was a royal charity premiere event, so Prince William and Kate were attending the premiere as well. Sounds random if you ask me, but I don't know how these things work, so what do I know? Once the royal couple made it to the carpet, they were greeted by Tom as well as some other staff crew. But Tom took it upon himself to escort them personally. I don't know if it was to suck up to them both for the press or he valued them that much, but it could easily be both. It's not every day a member of the royal family would partake in such an event, never mind two. Videos at the premiere showed him offer his hand to Kate, and viewers praised Tom for being a gentleman. But others believe that Kate and Prince William were actually uncomfortable with it. One fan pointed out that Kate had held her clutch in her other hand to avoid taking Tom's hand again. One other person commented how she apparently looked mortified and that the royals aren't to be touched, even by a wildly successful actor like Tom himself. They also claimed how Kate is a conservative woman, so holding hands with just about anyone is already a no-no, but she had done it in the spur of the moment as to not create a scene. At number 8, we have Trey Parker and Matt Stone. When it comes to South Park and its jokes, it usually treads against dark humor waters, as many adult comedy shows are. If you're a big name, chances are they've probably joked about you at least once. And Tom Cruise was not an exception, whom the writers later found themselves in a potential legal battle with. Back in 2005, there were talks of the actor suing Trey Parker and Matt Stone for defamation after they insinuated something about him on their show. The joke in question was Tom's character inside a closet with an animated version of his ex Nicole Kidman urging him to come out of said closet. The writers were implying his sexuality, which he didn't like. Now for a case like defamation, you'd think that they were out to literally defame his name and character. It became such an issue, the episode that came after had a disclaimer that read, "All characters and events on this show, even those based on real persons, are entirely fictional." It remains unclear if Tom ended up going through with this case or not, but at the time, rumors regarding his sexuality was talked about a lot in Hollywood, and it wasn't the first time someone was warned of being sued by the actor for these claims. At number 7, we have Kate Ceberano. Lots of people thought that he and Australian singer Kate Ceberano were close buddies when it was revealed she is also a member of the Scientology church. And if you didn't know, Tom Cruise is known for two things: being an actor and being an active member of Scientology. So everyone thought the two were at least in similar social circles until the singer shut them down. They are in fact not friends, as she further described the rumor that it's like assuming every Catholic person was friends with the Pope. And that's actually a valid point too. Scientology has quite the following, but that doesn't mean everyone knows each other. That's literally impossible. In 2009, when Tom was still with Kate, they were seen going to Australia, which is when the beliefs started going around. When asked if she met up with the stars, she said no and that she doesn't even know them. She rarely ever mentions her Scientology beliefs and doesn't like how often she's associated with Tom just because of it. She also decided that it isn't even worth her time or energy to keep denying them and allows people to decide whatever they want to believe despite her telling the truth. When asked about it, she said, "You know how it goes in the end, you go whatever." At number 6, we have Kirstie Alley. It was believed that there was some bad blood between the two, or that it was one-sided beef that Tom had with the actress. When it was first reported that Kirstie passed away last year, people thought that Tom would at least acknowledge it to the public, as many others did. But he didn't. Rumors that there was drama between the two started after Leah Remini's memoir briefly mentioned how Tom didn't like Kirstie, and the way he dealt with the news of her passing only seemed to solidify it. In the memoir, she also wrote how Kirstie was one of the few that wasn't even invited to Tom and Katie Holmes' wedding in 2006. Nothing was confirmed, but it was definitely clear that Kirstie was at least a loyal person and fellow member of the Scientology church alongside Tom. When talks of Tom and the church auditioning women to become his wife came out, she defended Tom. When asked about it, she said, "I think whenever you have articles written that there are third and fourth parties' opinions, it's like the game Gossip and you don't get the truth. I think that a magazine of that caliber should have interviewed him and then they would get the truth." Next on the list, we have Nazanin Boniandi. Before Tom married Kate, he was married to actress Nazanin. Their marriage was met with tons of criticism due to the unorthodox ways of going through with it. It was reported that he needed someone who shared the same religious beliefs as him, as his previous relationships with members outside of Scientology didn't work out. Apparently, Nazanin had been accepted into one of their institution's buildings meant for celebrities, where she met one of the Scientologist higher-ups. He told her she was meant to complete a mission that would help her meet lots of other Scientologists like herself. Apparently, she was dating and was engaged to another man at the time, which they coerced her into breaking up with him, along with telling her to get rid of her red hair and her short-term braces. This confrontation also came with an agreement that said if she messed up in any way, she would be shunned by the church and her own mother. It was this contract where she allegedly agreed to marry Tom. Lots of her rights and personal freedoms were no longer hers, as she basically signed her life away. These reports were never officially confirmed, as many are still speculation, but she did end up leaving the church altogether when she and Tom divorced in 1990. Next on the list at number 4, we have David Miscavige. These two were friends, and this is said with a huge question mark because their friendship was weird. One former member of Scientology who worked closely with David said that their friendship was the most intense, expensive romance in history. As a world-famous Hollywood actor and as the leader of Scientology, this makes sense considering their huge roles in society. It was reported that Tom's fame in the industry was constantly a liability, especially when the news broke out that he and Katy were getting divorced. He allegedly was not happy with this new wave of negative attention the church was receiving as a result. Even though Scientology has always had a bad rep, if I'm not mistaken, he was convinced that their divorce brought upon lies and misconception about their beliefs. Supposedly, one former Scientologist used Tom's divorce as their way to further smear the church with lies so they could promote themselves. And then there were rumors that Tom himself would be leaving Scientology as well. But this was back in 2012. Seeing as he's still an active participant in his church, I don't think he'll be leaving anytime soon. At number 3, we have Penelope Cruz. The two actors met on set of the movie Vanilla Sky, where they both starred in it. Tom was still married to Nicole Kidman at the time, and the timeline transitioning between relationships was questionable. When he and Nicole had their divorce finalized in August 2001, was the same month Tom and Penelope went public as a couple for the first time. Despite rumors she involved herself with a married man, she shut them down. She said, "I've never fallen in love with someone I'm working with. It's always been afterwards. If something becomes friendship, then maybe months later it becomes something else, but you can never know." And the two seemed very happy together. They were both successful and undeniably attractive, so what could go wrong? They ended up breaking up 3 years later, and it was believed that his Scientologist views were a big part of it. One source claimed that Tom was looking to propose, but Penelope felt that the Church of Scientology was the third wheel in their relationship. Penelope doesn't have anything against the church, but it just wasn't her thing. She admired Tom's dedication to it, but it wasn't her cup of tea and wasn't something she wanted to give her life up for. At number 2, we have Mimi Rogers. Now, before Katie Holmes and Penelope Cruz and Nicole Kidman, there was Mimi Rogers. The two met and started dating in 1985, but they both can't seem to agree on how they met. Tom said they met at a dinner party, while Mimi claimed they were set up by friends. Their marriage happened just as fast, as they were wed in a super secret and private wedding ceremony in 1987. The fact that they both couldn't agree how they met, it makes sense then that they also couldn't agree on how or why they decided to separate in 1990. This time, it was ideas between them two and rumors brought forth by fans and the media. Some included Mimi being jealous of Tom's success in Hollywood, as she is also an actress herself, their 6-year age gap that took a toll on their marriage, and even the fact that she hated being constantly referred to as Tom's wife. Their public statement announcing the divorce didn't make anything clearer. That was until Mimi said in an interview that Tom confessed that he wanted to become a monk and that their marriage wouldn't have been able to withstand his spiritual needs. And finally, at number 1, we have Suri Cruise. In case you didn't know, because I for sure didn't, Tom has 3 children in total. His first 2 kids were with Nicole Kidman, and Suri is his youngest and latest daughter with Katy Holmes. When he and Katy got divorced, people questioned what would become of their parenting situation. Would they have joint custody? Would Suri go stay with her mom? Allegedly, Tom was not granted any custody and it was all appointed to Katy. while Tom's relationship with his 2 elder kids remains stable as they're also members of Scientology, people believe that the same can't be said for his relationship with Suri. One source claimed that they were estranged. The last time Tom was seen in public with Suri was in 2012, and they were spending a day together in Disneyland. 2012 was also the year he and Katy got divorced, so speculators claim that that was one of the last times he got to see her. Another source claimed their estrangement was only inevitable as Katy left him to protect their daughter from Scientology. Now imagine having such a bad reputation. We can list down at least 20 notable individuals in the industry that probably don't like you. The range this man has, and I'm not just talking about his acting career.
Coming number 10 today, we have Miley Cyrus. At one point, Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus were pretty good friends, and as their fame started to take off, their environment would grow to be the perfect storm for jealousy, self-loathing, and unreasonable competition. Things even got so bad between the two. At one point, Selena and Miley were even characterized as mortal enemies, battling it out for the ultimate Disney crown. The feud all started when Miley started dating Nick Jonas, and after they broke up, he became romantically linked to Selena Gomez. After Selena confirmed her relationship with Nick Jonas, over the next couple of years, the girls would have a number of small passive-aggressive and ultimately meaningless gestures that took place on both sides, like back in 2008 when Selena and Demi made that YouTube video, and then Miley and her friend Mandy made fun of the video by spoofing it. While it seems like the stars have no bad blood today between them, they definitely aren't exactly friends either. Number 9. Justin Bieber. It's clear that Justin Bieber isn't really happy since his wife, Hailey Bieber, and ex Selena Gomez developed a close bond recently. It's said that the Peaches singer has even warned the model to keep her distance from the Wizard of Waverly Place actor as he is concerned that something might go wrong. An insider would then tell In Touch Weekly that after years of being pitted against each other, Selena and Hailey are finally on friendly terms. However, Justin is freaking out over them comparing notes since their pictures from the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures' 2nd annual gala went viral. He then warned Hailey to keep her distance from Selena, despite calling a truce. As far as Justin is concerned, he believes all hell can break loose at any moment, which is only fair as he and Selena had a pretty messy breakup, and Justin's fans have been urging him to leave Hailey for some time because everybody's still stuck on his relationship with Selena Gomez. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming number 8. The Weeknd. The Weeknd didn't seem to have the nicest things to say about Selena Gomez after the two broke up in October 2017 after 10 months of dating. But it's not really surprising since Selena did leave him to reconcile with her ex-boyfriend Justin Bieber as the two were spotted kissing less than a month later. Later, The Weeknd would even write a song called Call Out My Name, which he told the story of their relationship, and he seemingly threw shade at how quickly his ex moved on by singing, "I guess I was another pit stop till you made up your mind, you wasted my time." He then also appeared to take aim at Selena on several other songs from his other EP, which widely speculated to be about the breakup. On the song Try Me, he would sing, "Don't mess with me, the way I kissed your scars, the way I fixed your heart, don't you mess with me, babe." While his track Privilege would call out Selena's life when he sang, "Enjoy your privileged life, cause I'm not gonna hold you through the night. We said our last goodbyes." The Weeknd never confirmed that the EP was about Selena, but he would tell Esquire that it was short because he had nothing else to say on it. Now, why anyone would ever want to leave The Weeknd for Justin Bieber is beyond me, but Selena's true colors showed when she did just that. Number 7. Ariana Grande. Ariana Grande and Selena Gomez have never really exactly been friendly with each other, and it all goes back to one person, Justin Bieber. After Selena and Justin officially broke up, Selena set it as her goal to ruin Justin's career, and she caused a lot of chaos in the process. So before Ariana became famous, she was actually this huge Justin Bieber fan, and she always supported him and defended him throughout her career. So after Justin was branded as the world's biggest a-hole thanks to what Selena was leaking to the press about him, aka him being a cheater, Ariana would then stand up for the singer and claim that he was actually a really nice person. But it seems like the girls really just couldn't stand each other because Selena
Selena was always really jealous when it came to other girls being around Justin. And when Ariana was opening up for Justin on tour, Selena would end up fuming over the idea. And when Ariana was set to sit beside her during the KCAs, Ariana even moved her seat to sit somewhere else while Selena stayed in the same place. Number 6. Sofia Richie. Back in 2016, Selena made a comment about Sofia Richie's and Justin Bieber's relationship. Sofia would then weigh in on the drama and support her rumored boyfriend, Justin Bieber. In case you forgot, this is when Selena called out Justin Bieber for sharing back-to-back photos of Sofia and then threatened to make his Instagram private so people would stop hating on her. Selena would then write, "If you can't handle the hate, then stop posting pictures of your girlfriend, lol. It should be special between you two only. Don't be mad at your fans. They love you." Though Justin provided his own response, Sofia made sure to show her support for him by saying, "Justin is not shutting out his believers. He's thankful every day for y'all. Y'all got him here. He doesn't forget that, period. All love." Then Selena and Justin began this really big back and forth that the internet couldn't help but dive into. Number 5. Bella Hadid. Now, just when Selena started dating R&B singer The Weeknd, Bella Hadid would end up being hella livid because before Selena and The Weeknd got together, apparently Bella and him had plans to eventually reconcile. However, The Weeknd claimed that he was taking a break from his relationship with Bella so he could actually focus on his career, and he actually just ended up doing the exact opposite. And that's when he started talking to Selena Gomez, which actually resulted in a lot of tension between the two ladies because after The Weeknd left Bella, he pretty much jumped right into a relationship with Selena, and this really hurt Bella because she loved The Weeknd and thought that they would ultimately end up together. She was more just livid with Selena though because she was the only one standing in her way of getting back with her ex. And when the two started to date, Bella knew her relationship with him was officially over, and that really hurt her. Number 4. Chris Rock. In a display of shade that seemingly had no reason behind it, Chris Rock would very publicly diss Selena by posting a less than kind meme to his Twitter account back in June of 2016. At the time, the comedian would share a snap of Selena smiling and rocking a gold bodysuit while performing on stage alongside the caption, "When you buy your formation tickets on Craigslist." He then wrote alongside the meme, "This is true." Understandably, the tweet, which still remains on the actor's account today, didn't go too well with Selena fans as supporters then bombarded them and criticized them. And one fan even said, "When nobody will buy your stand-up comedy tickets, so you come out on Twitter to slander someone more successful than you." The shade was made all more confusing after it was pointed out that both Chris and Selena had actually gotten along pretty well a few years earlier as they were photographed together chatting on the red carpet at the 2010 Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards, when Gomez even sweetly embraced the comedian's daughters. Number 3. Stefano Gabbana. Stefano Gabbana back in June of 2018 wouldn't say the nicest things about Selena when she was on a social media break, and he went straight for the comments that surrounded the actor's looks. Just after a fashion account called The Catwalk Italia posted 5 photos of Selena in this stunning red dress, one of the snaps would show the star in a stunning floor-length red Dolce & Gabbana dress. The Italian account would then tag the brand on the snap. Then for some reason, the co-founder Dolce & Gabbana wasn't a fan of any look, nor was he a supporter, as he would comment on the photo, "She's so ugly." While Gomez fans slammed the designer in follow-up comments, he didn't seem so worried about the raft of the star's supporters, as he simply wrote in response, Selena then ended up getting the last laugh when she was spotted at New York Fashion Week in September 2018 with the word ugly written in rhinestones on her hair. Number 2. Demi Lovato. So today, Demi has no beef with Selena Gomez. However, she has made it clear that she is no longer friends with the star that she used to be best friends with. Their falling out would allegedly be caused over personal struggles both had to face over the years, as Demi felt like Selena wasn't always there for her and that their friendship wasn't actually really real. While Demi has confirmed that she does have a lot of love for Selena, she just can't be friends with her at this time, as she doesn't want to be reminded of her Disney days, as they made made her feel miserable and overworked. The two girls first became friends when they worked on Barney together, and later when they became teenagers, they started to drift apart. As Demi started to enter into this really big downward spiral, Selena would then start to distance herself from Demi as she entered into rehab facilities, and Demi started to feel like she was being abandoned by her best friend. While the two continued to have this really off and on friendship, both girls' personalities continued to clash, which leads you to wonder what's truly going on between them and what actually happened that made them hate each other. And coming in number 1 today, we have Lorde. So Lorde is another star who has spoken out about Selena Gomez, and this time it's because of her music. It's clear that the musician is not a fan of Selena's single Come and Get It, and while Lorde was speaking to the Rolling Stone in 2013, she would say, "I love pop music on a sonic level, but I'm a feminist, and the theme of Selena's song Come and Get It, when you're ready, come and get it from me. I'm sick of women being portrayed this way." Lorde would then be asked about her comments by MTV News, and she refused to back down by saying, "I have pretty strong morals in my opinion being in pop music, and I can't help but express those," which I think people appreciate. I mean, I don't think I can say anything that isn't backed up. Most of the times I will stand by things that I've said. As for what Selena had to say about the matter, well, she hit back in October 2013 in an interview with Flaunt, where she went after Lorde for claiming she's a feminist while tearing other women down by saying that's not feminism. Lorde is not supporting other women. That's my honest opinion. That's what I would say to her if I saw her. I actually covered her song in all of my shows that I've done so far. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue that. Coming in number 10, we have Olivia Wilde. Even before its release, the set of Don't Worry Darling was plagued with rumors of a feud between co-stars Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh. While not a lot is known about what happened behind the closed doors, it hasn't stopped a serious amount of speculation from circulating online, with people trying to uncover the reasons behind the alleged feud with the cast on the set. Despite director Olivia Wilde shutting down the rumors of any disagreement between her cast members, reports have suggested that the rumors first began gaining attention when Florence didn't promote Don't Worry Darling, unlike her promotion for other projects she was on. Then there were rumors that were fueled with other reports suggesting that Florence was uncomfortable with Olivia's relationship with Harry Styles, as some sources claim that the pair were growing on set after the director split from Jason Sudeikis, and an insider would tell Page 6, "I can tell you a fact, that flow seeing Olivia and Harry all over each other on the set didn't go down well, as Olivia was still with Jason when she first hooked up with Harry. Jason and the kids visited Olivia on the set in the beginning a few times, so I think this just made Florence feel a little uncomfortable." Number 9, Jason Sudeikis. Just as the drama on the set of Don't Worry Darling was taking off, Florence was set to make a cameo on an episode of Jason Sudeikis' show, Ted Lasso, but the scene was abruptly cut. The shocking claim would be made by a Twitter user who shared a photo of Florence on the set of the show that was believed to have been taken sometime in 2020. In the tweet, the user would say, "I've just learned that Florence had a cameo in Ted Lasso that got cut. The story has layers to it, people." At the same time, it would then be said that Florence also split from her boyfriend, Zach Braff, who she dated for 3 years, and he actually directed that episode, and this is why many people started to speculate that this could be the episode that Florence was meant to make a cameo appearance in, and Jason removed it because he was good friends with Zach. Hey my little peaches, are you liking this video so far? If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Coming in number 8, we have Harry Styles. While there has been much speculation about behind the scenes scandals to what actually happened on the set of Don't Worry Darling, little light has been shed on what sparked the sensational drama. However, it has been claimed that the leading lady Florence and on-screen lover Harry Styles shared an off-screen kiss during the filming, and the innocent smooch was to blame for all of the resulting uproar. A nanny who used to look after Olivia and her ex, Jason Sudeikis' 2 children, alleged that the actress complained to her then fiance that Harry and Florence were hooking up behind the scenes. Now, it's no lie that Harry and Florence had chemistry from the start, which translated incredibly well on screen. On one night, they had a bit of a snog and a lighthearted night of fun, but that was it. That's when Olivia started to spend more time with Harry, and it made Florence unhappy as the two women continued to battle it out. On the set, many speculated that this is why Florence didn't seem to promote the movie online like she did with other films she has starred in. Number 7, Zach Braff. It seems like Zach Braff and Florence Pugh got together after he gushed about her on Twitter after after he complimented Florence on her performance in Lady Macbeth. While fans have always been very critical of Florence and Zach's relationship due to their 21-year age gap, in a cover story with Harper's Bazaar, Florence would call out the media for their coverage on her and Zach by saying, "Whenever I feel like the line has been crossed in my life, whether it's paparazzi taking private moments or moments that aren't even real, or gossip channels that encourage members of the public to share private moments of famous people walking down the street, I think it's incredibly wrong. I don't think that people, just because they have this job, that every aspect of their life should be watched and written about. We haven't signed up for a reality TV show." While the two broke up in 2022, Florence would also state that they were trying to do the whole separation thing without the whole world knowing, because it was a relationship that everybody had opinions on, and they felt like they would benefit from not having a million people tell them how happy they were not to see the couple together any longer. Number 6. Will Poulter. After Florence and Zach broke up, Florence would have to teach the world another lesson, and this time it was when she had to address the rumors that she broke up with Zach and moved on with her mid-summer co-star Will Poulter. After photos started to circulate that Will and Florence were on a holiday with friends in Ibiza, the media would be filled with speculation that Florence was no longer with Zach and that she moved on with her mid-summer co-star Will. Florence would then come out to address the rumors when she said, "This is getting a little silly now. No, Poulter and I are not dating. We went to the beach with our friends. We were about half a meter away from each other in every picture, but my friends have clearly and cleverly been cut out and framed out, so it looks otherwise." Florence would then go on to speak about how damaging the impact of these accusations can be, that she understands it is a job, but fabricating things does more damage than good. Number 5. Shia LaBeouf. There seems to be so much drama on the Don't Worry Darling drama that even Shia LaBeouf would be fired from the set because Olivia felt like his combative energy led to actress Florence Pugh to feel uncomfortable, and Olivia felt like she needed to protect Florence. And then text messages between Florence and Shia were released, and the exchange would show that there was never bad blood in the first place between the two. And Florence even offered the latter to vent about the drama. After the Midsummer star even expressed her confusion about the actor's concerns that she was scared of him and said, "That's sad. Where did you get me being scared of you from? Don't be silly. I'm sorry that you feel that way." For Shia texted Olivia saying that he was leaving the film, he would inform Florence that he was leaving by saying the issues on the set are more than just schedule conflicts, by saying, "Seems clear we have bigger problems than dates. I will back out in the morning." Number 4. Mireille Yoon. In a statement to ET producer, Mireille Yoon wanted to express the absurd gossip surrounding the set of Don't Worry Darling once and for all. After Vulture reported that Olivia and Florence got into a screaming match on the set when they were filming back in January 2021. According to the outlet, Florence disdain stemmed from Olivia's alleged frequent disappearances with Styles. Another pointed out the connection reportedly came from the then new couple when they attended a wedding together, and this would come after Olivia had alleged a lecture with the cast and crew about following proper COVID protocols. Following the report, Mireille would say, "As crew, we avoided addressing the absurd gossip surrounding the movie we're so proud of, but feel the need to correct the anonymous sources who quoted in a recent article. Any allegations about unprofessional behavior on set of Don't Worry Darling are completely false." Mireille also went on to call Olivia an incredible leader and director, but didn't mention Florence whatsoever, which seemed a little fishy. Number 3. Chris Pine. Seems like Chris Pine was in a total mood at the Don't Worry Darling's Venice premiere. While the actor was a total vibe when he stepped onto the Venice Film Festival to celebrate the premiere of his new movie, he posed for photos alongside his co-stars. While Florence had skipped the presser in the morning, it seems like for the group photos, Chris would be placed in the middle of Olivia and Florence, and he didn't seem so happy doing it, as he was left looking dull, staring off into a distance, trying to fake a smile while he was dealing with the very tense drama of the two ladies' feud. Seems like the rest of the cast, like Chris, just had enough, and while he did go on to have a great time with Florence and Olivia when they were both alone, you could tell he wasn't really happy that he had to be close to the two women together, and that he just wanted the drama to be over. And to make sure tensions were slim that night, he also chose to sit in between Olivia and Harry. Number 2. Sydney Chan Chandler. While all eyes were on the Don't Worry Darling cast when they hit the red carpet at the Venice Film Festival, September 5th for the film's world premiere, fans and critics alike discussed whether or not Florence and Olivia would interact with each other. However, what people didn't notice was that Sydney Chandler looked about out of it as she refused to look at any of the cast members as they posed for group shots as she stood in the middle of Harry and Olivia. Sydney would be seen looking off into a distance, and it looked like she was saying in her head, just pose so they can get enough photos and I can leave this really awkward moment. It seems like everyone was on edge at the film festival because none of them really knew what to expect when it came to all the endless tabloid gossip and all the noise that they were talking about the feud that happened between Olivia and Florence. And it's understandable why Sydney would be so uncomfortable with being in the same room as the two ladies and why she was so on edge, because she probably thought Florence and Olivia were gonna lose it on each other, and Sydney could sense it and just went into another place in her head. Number 1. Kiki Layne. After Don't Worry Darling was released, Kiki Layne would address the prominent remark about her role in the movie just 2 days after it was released. With a surprising combination of acknowledgement and dissent, the actress would state on her Instagram how she, along with one of her other co-stars, had gotten very little screen time after being cut from most of the movie. After the movie premiered, Kiki would say the best thing about hashtag Don't Worry Darling, that I was lucky enough to meet Ariel Stachel. She then went on to shade the rest of the cast and crew by saying they cut us from the movie, but we are thriving in real life. Said that Kiki was set to have a couple of scenes with Florence, with Ariel, and they were just cut from the movie with no notice. At the end of the day, Kiki would shake it off and say she didn't care because she got her check, she got her man, and that she was thriving despite the major disappointment. At number 10, we have Olivia Wilde. Olivia has stated that like any relationship that ends, it doesn't just happen overnight. Unfortunately for Jason, the two have had bumpy roads and it officially dissolved the relationship. A nanny to the couple, however, would later reveal that the actor was so distraught by his breakup with Olivia that he allegedly threw himself in front of a car to prevent her from leaving. Before the incident occurred, Olivia was trying to leave to see her new boyfriend, Harry Styles. However, it said that Jason was chasing her around the house and she could be heard saying, "Jason, I'm scared of you." Jason responded by saying, "If you're so scared of me, why are you leaving your kids with me?" Jason would then go outside and lay under Olivia's car to prevent her from leaving. The two would later come out and say that the rumors aren't true, but the nanny would reveal more later, which would make you question if the two stars were telling the truth or not. At number 9, the nanny. It's said that Jason allegedly threw his nanny out of his house after he was filled with rage over Olivia Wilde's new relationship with Harry Styles. The former employee claimed in an interview with Daily Mail she received a text message from Jason saying, "You're going to get your stuff and get out. Why are you sending these messages to her?" The woman then claimed she responded by telling the star he had been drinking and she could tell he was under the influence and that she was afraid of him. A rep for Olivia would claim that the woman chose to resign and that her claims were false. The nanny, however, told Daily Mail that she did have plans to quit but offered to work for the couple for another 6 months until they found a replacement. However, after the incident took place, the nanny packed her bags and headed to Rosewood London Hotel. When she was asked about a severance pay, she said she was given nothing at all. The whole experience also made her question her career as a nanny, and she said she always loved her career and how they treated her definitely upset her. If you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. At number 8, we have Jennifer Aniston. After Olivia and Jason first confirmed their split, Jennifer Aniston knew there was something concerning going on with the star. So being the good friend we all know her to be, she made sure Jason had a shoulder to lean on. If anyone knows what it's like to be humiliated romantically but overcome all the obstacles and come out stronger, it's her. A source confirmed that Jennifer became a rock to Jason throughout this nightmare, and Jennifer would talk and text to Jason every day to make sure the star was well, and she was concerned about the actor's mental state following some pretty serious allegations made by the nanny. She even shared her coping strategies such as meditation, yoga, to help the star overcome his strong emotions with anger and sadness. Honestly, Jennifer Aniston is an absolute angel, and I'm glad Jason had at least one friend like her to help him get through this messy split. At number 7, we have Harry Styles. Now, with everything going on, you're probably wondering how Harry Styles feels about the whole ordeal? Well, it seems like Harry is doing his best to stay out of this messy divorce, and I don't blame him. With Jason coming out to say Olivia left him for Harry, this is definitely a situation you want to avoid answering, as one bad move can definitely label you as a homewrecker, and that's definitely something the pop star will want to avoid. Harry has taken the time not to reach out to Jason at any point, mainly because he feels like it isn't his place to interfere. With Olivia denying she left Jason for Harry and Jason saying she did, it makes you wonder who's really telling the truth. So what do you think? And let me know in the comments below. At number 6, we have Keeley Hazel. Being first linked back in 2021, Jason and Keeley have split just nearly after 1 year of dating. The two have been close friends since they first met while filming Horrible Bosses 2. A source claims that Jason wasn't ready for anything serious as he was still processing his split from his fiancée Olivia. However, with Keeley being ready to get their relationship to the next level, Jason was still devastated over his split with the mother of his children. However, he did feel safe and relaxed with her, and the pair did truly enjoy each other's company. Since the beginning, they were friends and they didn't know how long their relationship would last, because Jason has stated over and over again he isn't looking for anything serious anytime soon. While Keeley was ready to cozy up with Jason, he just was looking for a good time, which ultimately led to some problems within their relationship and may have been the reason for their split. At number 5, we have Don Cheadle. Now, Jason had a lot to say during his acceptance speech for Best Performance by an Actor in the television series for his role on Ted Lasso. Now, the actor began to struggle with his words after he found out he won the award. Jason would go on in a long speech that he would thank his family and his co-stars. Now, the humble actor would then go on to say that he rejects being the best actor because in his opinion, the best actor is the person you are acting with, and that's why he had to shout out all of the people he got to act with on the show. Now, at this point, Don started to give Jason the wrap-up speech. As Jason was continuing to talk while the fellow nominees started to laugh, Jason would acknowledge that Don was right and he needed to wrap this puppy up. Now, I know if I ever won a huge award, I wouldn't even know what to say, and I would probably just stand there and do the classic smile and wave energy before awkwardly leaving. So luckily for Jason, Don was there to help him wrap it up before things got a little too messy. At number 4, we have Ice Cube. So Ice Cube once almost got Jason into trouble back in 6th grade. On an appearance for The Late Late Show with James Corden and Ice Cube, Jason explained that he used to write lyrics and memorize them by writing them down. When Jason was back in 6th grade, he loved Ice Cube, so to learn his song, he wrote it down and memorized the lyrics. Well, Jason wouldn't leave out any words. So the night before class one day, he decided to write down all the lyrics to Gangster Gangster. Now, the next day, Jason would go to class and he was showing the lyrics with a centerfold from an adult magazine to 8 other boys in his class. However, when his teacher, Miss Huffy, came in, she took the paper away and handed the boys their homework before leaving the room. Now, one of Jason's friends decided to scribble on a piece of paper and swap the confiscated paper out before shoving it into his sock, and when the teacher came back and asked where the paper was, no one knew where it went. His friend then started freaking out about it, and then the group of boys got sent to the office. Now, the principal was really disturbed because the teacher was telling her the lyrics were violent, and then the boys got busted and sentenced to detention. At number 3, we have Florence Pugh. Florence was allegedly set to make a cameo in an episode of Jason's show Ted Lasso, but then the scene got cut out. The claim was made after a Twitter user who shared the photo of Florence on the set of the show. While the two were having problems on the set of Don't Worry Darling, one user pointed out that they believed the cut cameo was originally filmed in 2020 for the 2nd episode of Ted Lasso's 1st season. Now, it's said that Florence's ex she dated for 3 years before the pair split broke up earlier that year, and he was actually a director on the set, and that could be the reason her cameo was taken out. However, with Olivia and Jason being engaged at the time of their feud, it also could have been the reason why her cameo disappeared from the show. Either way, in the film industry, it's not uncommon for things to get cut, and the actor still got paid for their time on set. At number 2, we have Kay Cannon. So before Jason was engaged to Olivia, he was once married to Kay Cannon. Now, Jason was married to the screenwriter and producer Kay Cannon for 4 years before separating in 2008. However, for the couple, their careers always came first, and this ultimately led to the destruction of their marriage. Jason would later say while he was married to Kay, he had to give up 2 things he loved the most while he took a writing job for the show. He had to give up performing and living with his wife. Ultimately, Jason chose his career over his wife and chose to go on the show, and the two shortly split after. Now, Jason has no noted that he did have a sign it was over before he went on the show, but the show just finalized things. With both having really busy lifestyles and big dreams, it makes a lot of sense why the two would split and would still continue to support each other as friends. At number 1, we have Chris Rock. It's said that Chris Rock one time hijacked Jason's Saturday Night Live audition. When Jason first auditioned for the iconic sketch comedy show, Chris Rock would go on to steal his thunder. Jason was backstage calming his nerves before he went on set, and all of a sudden, Jeff Ross and Chris Rock entered the backstage. Now, at the beginning, he just thought Chris and Jeff were there to see the new talent. Unfortunately, Chris wasn't there to watch, but rather to perform. Now, Chris is standing right beside Jason, and Jason puts his drink down to head to the stage, and Chris goes, "Hey man, was this your big shot?" And Jason was like, kinda. And then he went on to say, "Sorry." Immediately after the interaction, an announcer welcomed Chris Rock to the stage. Now, Jason was a little hurt by the experience. However, before Chris left the building, he wished the comedian good luck and told him that the crowd loves original thought.
First up, Nicola Peltz. Brooklyn Beckham's new bride, Nicola Peltz, has apparently butted heads with Victoria Beckham, claiming she is overbearing. It was reported that Victoria planned to help Brooklyn plan his wedding, and at first Nicola was overjoyed with the offer. However, months later, she changed her mind and didn't want Victoria making decisions on her behalf anymore. This switch didn't sit right with Victoria, because Victoria loves to be in control, especially when it has to do with her kids. A source said, quote, "Posh has been incredibly generous with her time and efforts. She's worked up sketches for a series of gowns for Nicola to help her to pick from. It would be a total dream to dress her." But Victoria had to find out through friends that Nicola does not want her involved with the wedding dress selection. The source continued, quote, "Nicola is grateful, but she wants to go with an up-and-coming designer with a more modern edge. Nicola and Posh love each other, of course, but it's not always smooth sailing. We're talking about two very big personalities, fiercely fashionable ones at that. It's hard to tell if there really is tension or if tabloids are just trying to take advantage of the situation. Leading up to the wedding, Brooklyn and Nicola have been very quiet about their plans. However, it's expected that Victoria will have a key role in the big day, especially since the wedding was rumored to have cost over $3 million, but we'll get into that later. Next, Chloe Grace Moretz. Before Brooklyn was married to Nicola Peltz, he was in an off and on again relationship with Chloe Grace Moretz, and it was rumored that he cheated on her in the end. In April of 2018, Beckham was spotted kissing model Lexi Wood in Los Angeles, before he or Chloe had announced if they were broken up. Of course, there's a chance the couple had ended things privately and just didn't want to share it, but there's another chance that they had not discussed where their relationship was going, and Brooklyn just started seeing someone else without talking to Chloe about it. Moretz told the Sunday Times, quote, "Breakups are hard across the board, but when every verified account on Twitter posts something about me, I get tagged, and every major publication is verified, so anytime they post something about a certain relationship, it pops up on my phone, which is how I find out about 90% of things." So clearly she found out about this new fling online, which is something you would not wish on your worst enemy. A few days after these paparazzi photos were leaked, Chloe seemed to clap back by posting a screenshot of Cardi B's song Be Careful, which is a song about Offset's infidelity. Moretz also liked a social media post that included a picture of herself with her middle finger up, aimed at Beckham. So clearly she was angry and wanted the world to know. Chloe confirmed their relationship in a 2016 episode of Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen by saying, quote, "We're in a relationship. It's fine, it's no biggie. The more I don't make it serious, the more people don't care, so yes, we're in a relationship." But after those photos of him kissing another girl leaked, they were over for good. Rebecca Luz. One of many women that David Beckham has allegedly had an affair with was his assistant, Rebecca Luz. The rumor first started in 2004 when he was spotted with a random woman in a Madrid nightclub. The woman was later identified as assistant Rebecca Luz. Sources then came forward and alleged that Luz and Beckham were very intimate at this club, and it was assumed that they were sleeping together. They also reported the two exchanged racy texts. The story claimed that Victoria contacted this assistant, warning her to stay away. After the story turned into madness, Luz confessed everything to Sky News, saying, quote, "I was getting a few innuendos, but I kept saying, no, he doesn't fancy you. Adding, quote, I would always say to myself, don't risk your job. And I knew there was a huge risk involved if I got involved with this man." But Luz admitted that they slept together after they connected following a night out with friends. Luz also claimed that there was problems in his marriage at the time. The Beckhams clapped back, claiming it was all made up and nothing intimate was happening between them. David also released a statement denying the claims, saying, quote, "The simple truth is that I am very happily married. I have a wonderful wife and two very special kids. There's nothing any third party can do to change these facts." The couple also threatened Luz with legal action, but since this is the first of many cheating rumors, there could be some truth to it. Sarah Marbeck. Shortly after the Lose affair rumors came to light, yet another woman came forward exposing her relationship with Beckham. This woman named Sarah Marbeck was a Malaysian-born Australian model. Marbeck told news outlets, quote, "He said he felt he'd been hit by a sledgehammer from the first time he saw me." Marbeck claimed that she exchanged explicit text messages with Beckham for years, but David called the story absurd and unsustained. Victoria told The Sun at the time, quote, "We have been through a lot worse than this, and we're definitely going to get through this." Marbeck claimed that she had a 9-month affair with Beckham after meeting him at a party in Singapore in 2001. At the time, she released a statement saying, quote, "The reason I decided to go public with the details of my relationship with David Beckham is because for 2 years my life was on hold while I waited for him. He said he loved me and I slept with the phone by my bed waiting for it to ring. Finally, I accepted that my relationship with Beckham was over and I decided to move forward with my life. But in that time, my life changed forever and there's no way back for me." Next up, Charlotte Meredith. Victoria Beckham is allegedly in a feud with David Beckham's stepsister, Charlotte Meredith, and has been for years now. Apparently it all started in 2019 when Victoria did not invite Charlotte to Harper's christening. Of course, it was speculated these were only rumors until the marriage between Ted Beckham and Hillary Meredith took place, and it was clear there was some touching with Victoria. A source said, quote, "Victoria didn't want to hang around and they left as soon as they could. Charlotte was hoping for some bonding time at the wedding, but Victoria avoided her like the plague. The thing that sealed the deal was a photo taken of David with his dad, stepmom, and stepsister. The missing link in this photo is Victoria, who we assumed did not want to be included. I guess we'll never know the reason why she wasn't invited to Harper's christening, but clearly it's made a huge impact on the dynamic of the family." Social media. If you hadn't already heard, Brooklyn and his new wife, Nicola Peltz, got married this weekend in a lavish ceremony. And when I say lavish, I mean uber lavish. Peltz comes from a lot of money, and her family are billionaires along with the Beckham's fortune, so it makes sense a lot of money would be spent. But after it was reported that the couple and their family spent $3.5 million on this insane wedding, social media users became very angry, claiming the money could have been spent in many other ways, like helping Ukrainians fleeing war. It's been reported that the bride's parents, Nelson and Claudia, footed the cost of the entire thing, because David and Victoria's $494 million fortune is pretty much nothing compared to Nicola Peltz's $1.6 billion family fortune. The wedding took place at the Peltz's Miami mansion. After the event, Twitter users flocked to share their disdain. One person tweeted, quote, "Something grotesque about this wedding. Brooklyn has no job, barely 20 years old, wasting all his money." Another said, quote, "Why David and Posh Beckham are spending $103 million when America and the whole world are having trouble with money. For one, his older son's wedding, not in the UK. They should have given that money to save the children of the world." Some Twitter users even pointed out that Peltz gained his massive fortune through fast food joints like Wendy's and Arby's, and since he is so insanely rich, he clearly has enough money to give essential fast food workers a raise.
Number 10. Taylor Swift. This beef began in 2011 during Katy Perry's California Dream World Tour. It was a 2-year tour, and during that time, Katy worked with the same dance crew every show. They got to know the ins and outs of the show to make it as smooth and fun as possible. Following the end of the tour, several of Katy's dancers auditioned to join Taylor Swift for her upcoming tour, and they were soon working with another pop icon. After just 6 months, however, Katy called up the few dancers who had joined Taylor and asked them to return for a gig with her instead. Naturally, they quickly agreed to join, and Taylor was out 3 dancers. Apparently, they weren't actually doing much dancing on the tour, and they were just really bored with the project, so they heel-clicked at the opportunity to do more. Taylor broke out in interviews claiming Perry intended to sabotage her tour by hiring people from under her nose. Several Swifties claim that she wrote bad blood about Perry, and if that's the case, well, we have been warned, and in such a catchy way. Number 9. Lady Gaga. On Katy Perry's Prismatic World Tour, Lady Gaga couldn't help but notice a slight similarity between the two, specifically the inclusion of a mechanical horse in Katy's show. On the tour, Katy would come out on stage with green hair riding a mechanical horse, which similarly Lady Gaga rode a mechanical horse on the red carpet on the American Music Awards ceremony the year prior. She took to Twitter to call out Perry, saying, "Well, I guess green hair and mechanical horses are like a thing now." And it seemed that these two did not like being compared to each other, Gaga especially. In an interview with Billboard, Gaga said that she didn't know what the F all she had to do with Katy Perry. Their music is so different, and she basically fits into her own category. Whether it was to prove a point or to take the attention away from Perry, Gaga proved her uniqueness by giving a highly controversial performance at that year's South by Southwest festival. During her performance, now this is just a quick warning for anyone who is squeamish, please skip ahead like 30 seconds if you don't want to hear this. Gaga had a vomit artist continuously throw up on her during the show, while she continued singing. That is just gnarly. Katie, if you've upset someone to the point of doing that on stage, maybe look inward. Number 8. Miley Cyrus. Miley and Perry's relationship is the textbook definition of the term frenemies, and it's only gotten worse over the years. Their friendship began in 2008 when Katy claimed that her song I Kissed a Girl was about the Hannah Montana star, and even invited her to be Katy's special guest at that year's Video Music Awards. Recently, Perry decided that she wanted to go see Miley in concert, and Miley took advantage of that situation to spark some buzz on social media. Katy was sitting in the front row, and Miley came over and took the opportunity to plant one on her frenemy. Seemingly playful at first, however, Cyrus attempted to involve her tongue in the moment, and Perry was not having it. She later said in an interview that she had to pull away from Miley as fast as possible because Miley's tongue is infamous. Who knows where it's been? Well, Miley took to Twitter to respond saying, "Girl, if you're worried about where tongues have been, it's a good thing your ex-boo is your ex. Cause we all know where that tongue has been." This is of course in reference to singer and ex-boyfriend John Mayer, who has been romantically involved with like most of Hollywood. But was it Miley trying to warn us about Perry, or does her tongue have a mind of its own? Who knows? Number 7. Calvin Harris. Calvin is a Scottish DJ, record producer, and singer-songwriter. His debut studio album, I Created Disco, was released in 2007, and he's made waves in the music business ever since. Calvin was all set up to open for Katy back in 2011 for her California Dream Tour, but he dropped out at the last minute, blaming the tour's production team. Apparently, her team had suddenly moved the goalposts, and he was to appear on stage without production. Now, moving the goalpost is a term meaning change something last minute, and this change meant that Calvin would be on a tiny portion of the stage alone for 30 minutes, and it made no sense for him to show up for such a minimal role. Now, even though his claims weren't aimed towards Katy herself, she definitely took it personally and decided to throw some shade right back at the DJ. She posted several lists of artists opening for her tour that apparently had no problem with the last minute changes. She ended one tweet with, "It's fine, I'm used to you canceling on me. It's becoming your staple." Apparently he had to cancel last minute for a concert prior to that one, only that time it was due to a scheduling conflict, so like, hey, take it easy, Katy. Clearly Calvin knows better than to perform for Perry. He canceled twice. He's clearly trying to tell us something. Number 6. Chief Keef. Hip-hop artist Chief Keef released his breakout hit I Hate Being Sober in 2012, featuring Wiz Khalifa and 50 Cent. Keef was just shy of 18 at the time, so his song being so popular at such a young age was a massive deal. But not to Katy Perry. In fact, Katy made it a point to let her fans know that she wasn't into the song by going on Twitter and letting everyone know that the lyrics, quote, made her have serious doubt for the world. According to the news outlet Billboard, Keef took serious offense to her tweets and decided the most appropriate reaction was to tweet a bunch of nasty things in response, and I will be paraphrasing this of course. He tweeted, "Dat snitch Katy Perry can suck the skin off my duck, I'll smack the poo-poo out of her." He also claimed that Katy's name would surely be popping up in his music in the near future. Katy tried to take back her tweets, claiming that she didn't know it was Keef's song. Hey, Katy, you know that if you're listening to a song at any point on anything, the artist's name is like almost always directly beneath the play button. It's not like I listen to Hot and Cold and I'm like, oh, who is this? I have no idea. Keef shared Katy's apology, but did not respond to it. He did, however, keep his promise and worked Katy into his song, Haha. Unfortunately, his rhymes were not as harsh as his tweets. Like, come on Twitter, the music industry is clamping down harder on swear words than you. Number 5. Lily Allen. Lily Allen is a British pop star and was not very pleased when Katy Perry described herself as a skinnier version of Allen. According to Lily, their first meeting was frosty, and she shot back at Katy for fat shaming her by taking digs at her music, claiming Katy Perry was discovered because of Allen. Katy was signed by her label in America, as they needed to find something controversial and kooky. Allen went on to call Katy out for not writing her own music and called the lyrics that she does use crass. Katy addressed the feud in an interview with Us Weekly where she fake apologized by making light of her comments. She called what she said a joke and claimed that she was just trying to be funny. She's quoted as saying, "Comedians are not necessarily to be taken super seriously. Hey, last time I checked, you were a pop star and not John Mulaney." The tweets were offensive and rude, and Lily's reactions were handled very well. Katy needs to get a filter or something, cause she seriously can't seem to keep her negative thoughts inside of her head like the rest of us. Number 4, Bo Burnham. Comedian Bo Burnham is much more than your average stand-up comedian. Bo is a lyrical genius, being able to make us laugh and cry with the simple click of the next button. In Bo's Netflix special Make Happy, he plays a song called End Yourself, where he refers to Katy Perry several times. His hatred towards the pop star is vague at first, but he goes on to sing, "If you search for moral wisdom in Katy Perry lyrics, then end yourself." In an interview with Rolling Stones, Burnham expressed why celebrities are often the inspiration for his lyrics. He said that it was him trying to advocate on behalf of the audience. "These people act like they're somehow better humans, and we've become filled with joy when they get on late shows and act like human beings, and it's just like, who cares?" Yeah, who cares about Katy and her dark horse? Yeah, you're right, you go Bo, you go Bo. Number 3, Ruby Rose. A few years ago, Katy Perry went on Saturday Night Live with a kid in a backpack and performed Swish Swish Live for the first time. The song was pretty popular and it introduced the world to flossing. So I guess that's Katy's contribution to society. When first released, she was quick to say that the song was not about anyone in particular, but Katy's fans were convinced that it was a response to Taylor Swift's song Bad Blood, which is 100% about Katy Perry. Actor Ruby Rose, who you may know from the series Orange is the New Black, is a part of Taylor's inner squad and took to Twitter to defend her friend, apparently forgetting that Bad Blood even existed. She tweeted, "Purposeful poop to bomb a petite, to a sloppy mess of writing over the top of Fukunaga. Stop trying to make it fetch happen." What? What? Can someone get Tom Hanks from the Da Vinci Code in here? Because I have no idea what I just said. Anyone who isn't Katy Perry would be just as confused, but apparently to Katy herself, these tweets were like a dagger to her heart. Oh, it's just a bunch of mumbo jumbo to me. Now let's decode, shall we? In Perry's song, Chained to the Rhythm, she was quoted as saying she hoped it would start a trend of purposeful pop, aka the purposeful poop part. The second part refers to the song Bon Appetit, which was received poorly by fans and critics, and of course, the last part is a Mean Girls reference for some reason, but leave that beautiful movie out of this, Ruby. Ruby took back the cryptic tweets not long after posting them, but her message was clear. Okay, well not really, but we figured it out. Number 2, Russell Brand. What many people may not know is that Russell Brand was actually married to Katy Perry for a short time. During their brief marriage though, Russell recounts being uncomfortable for a majority of their public outings. He's quoted as saying, "I'm associated with the very thing I detest. Vapid, precocious, plastic, constructed, mindless celebrity. People are like, oh, who's that guy?" And that guy is married to Katy Perry. Eventually the pair decided to get a divorce. Okay, well Russell decided that he wanted to get a divorce and apparently notified Katy about it over text. After they split, Perry wound up in Russell's stand-up act on a regular basis. He compared his love life with Perry to that of a monk's. He said, "When you're a monk, you're not allowed to make love with anyone. If you're married, you can, but only with one person. That's one more than monks. That's not that different." According to Katy, she hasn't actually spoken to Russell since their split, but she totally should, right? If someone was making fun of me on stage without my knowledge or permission, I'd find out who's doing it and I'd ask them to please stop. Russell is only being given a stronger platform for himself to warn us about Katy and her plastic persona, so maybe hop on that one, Miss Perry. And number 1, American Idol. Recently, Katy Perry took to social media to announce that she wants to quit the successful singing competition American Idol after 6 years over fears that she's being thrown under the bus by producers who edit the show to make her seem like the nasty judge. Katy has faced a slew of controversy and scandal over this current season of American Idol, and it seems like it's all becoming just too much for her. For those who don't know, on the recent season of American Idol, Katy Perry had an interesting reaction to a contestant revealing that she was a mother of 3 and much older than she looked. Katy stood up out of her chair and almost laid on the judge's table. The contestant Sarah Beth joked that if Katy laid on the table that she would die, and Katy responded with, "Honey, you've been laying on the table too much." That's just so mean. At At first everyone laughed at this, seemed like it was all good fun, but following her audition, Sarah announced that she would be going back to California to be with her family, claiming that she just wasn't cut out for show business. But later, she took to Twitter to call Perry out for the joke, which was both mom shaming and something else shaming. I can't say the S word on YouTube. While this was a one-time incident, Katy has been known to be shady during her time as a judge, and her comments aren't always as helpful as I'm sure they're meant to be, so it's not really hard to make her seem like the bad judge.